James and I married in 1942, and then we moved here in 1944 from Montgomery, Alabama. I had no idea what farming was like. I was raised in the city. I did not know what farming was like or anything agricultural. I thought we'd stay here a year and then we'd move back to Montgomery. But after I moved here and had my first child here, we got along just real good. Jimmy was a toddler when we moved here. And then we had a second child. And then that was it. You know, you have your children and that's where your heart is where your children are.
I'm Jim Collins. I'm involved with Collins Farms here in Casita, Alabama. Been involved with the farm, I guess, my whole life. The farm was established by my great-grandfather.
My grandfather bought the farm in, I think it was 43, early 44. And then Mother and Daddy and myself moved up here about a year and a half, 2 years later. I didn't notice a great big change except that there was red mud everywhere. And down there it was grass and prairie land.
I became involved on a day-to-day basis in my, when I was 8 or 9, working, wherever I needed to be. Then after I graduated, we began to really focus on the commercial female side of it, and that was all 3 generations. James, my granddad, Jimmy, my dad, and then myself. And in more recent years have had my older 2, Taylor and Meredith, and then Jay involved. So it's really kind of neat to have that many generations play their piece in the equation as we go forward.
Well, we most of the time go out into the pastures and sort the cows into different pastures. Yep, that's part of what we do.
While you can grow up right in the middle of it, you've got to have your own driving force. You've got to have your own reason and reward. Having grown up dealing with, whether that be long days in the hayfield or, cold winters or, going and being sure the cattle are fed before you do a whole lot on Christmas Day, that's not for everybody, and it takes a special passion, a special desire to want to do that.
I guess it sort of got seeped into our genetics somewhere several generations back. We've always enjoyed it. Yeah, there are other things that we could probably do and make more money, but I know a lot of very wealthy folks that I wouldn't trade places with.
Jimmy and James both loved the farm so much. And when James, my husband James, was so bad, I didn't know whether you all knew that he had a stroke and died, but he loved it too. And we could talk to him even though he couldn't talk back. We would talk to him about the cattle, and he would always smile. So it's in the blood. I think it definitely is in the blood. All right, we moved here in 44, and what is it now?
2015.
That's a long time.
So would you call yourself a farm girl now?
I would definitely call myself a farm girl. When I was real active in Farmers Federation, they would always say, ask the farmers to stand or ask the cattlemen to stand. I would always stand. Sometimes I was the only female standing, but I was standing because I felt like a farmer. I felt like a cattle person, and I still do.